Officer, please help. What seems to be the problem, ma'am? She killed them all. They're all dead. They're dead? What? Oh my God, what are you talking about? What happened? They were playing so innocently, and then she killed them all. Oh my God, so we're dealing with a homicide. How many people did she kill? 7. He killed 7 people. Oh my God. Hold on, I'll get our sketch artist. Ma'am, can you describe what the suspect looked like? It was... I didn't even know who it is. It's Iris. Oh, I know what she looks like. Pimpin' outfit. You know, she got the little pom-poms on the hand and all that good stuff. Man, I mean, do I really need to draw? Do I even need me here? Like, can I just go home? No, she's not dressed like that. She's practically naked. I mean, if you want, I can investigate this further. I mean, if you need a task force, I'm your man. Like, I mean, no, you won't be necessary anymore. Are you sure? You know, I'm down for the cause. You know, I mean, I'm willing to help with this very serious matter. You know, I'm very serious about this. Can you make him leave? He's making me awkward. Yeah, I'll beat him up right now. What is going on, guys? It's your boy Cash, and today's video has a very mean squat routine, has a high chance to get my video demonetized, and is 100% MFO. What we're going to be doing today is obviously talking about, you know, good old Iris. Iris is, you know, the talk of the town. Is she the real counter? I embellished a little bit in the intro that she's killed 7 people. Hopefully you guys put 1 and 2 together. Probably a little bit more with nosebleeds, but so we're gonna go over her and of course go over her base kit, realize what the difference between her FC and what her current version is, and really decide, you know, is she actually that powerful? Of course, I'm gonna try my best to give you guys gameplay examples. There's 2 examples that I want to test out, and one is obviously how it works in regards to Dragon Bloods. How it regards actually also, I don't know if most people knew that if a wrath counter hit and the character was under the impression of, I guess now it's flop, whatever, the wrath would actually frigid bolt you. It actually would freeze you. You lose a turn. It was like a really cool, interesting concept that you can do. So it was considered an actual attack, which was awesome. So now it makes me wonder, does Iris strip the barrier quick enough that you don't get the wrath counter that also brings the frigid bolt along with it? I know it's a modification, which is polymorph, which is frigid bolt, which is a CC. Why Lion Games, why? But anywho, we still need to go over her as a base unit because you kind of need to know where you started from. First, let's see what her stats look like when she's actually level 5 and alive. So as you can see, she has 5,000 HP, which is kind of nuts. So defense is relatively low there, I think, if I'm looking at most people's defenses. So she's pretty much HP based character, which is why her FC version, when we go into that, it's going to be really important. So she's definitely going to be vulnerable to Shafraken, and he's the only one that has the defense passive that goes against that. Attack is relatively low, and you know, as it should be. Hit 99, dodge 99, critical hit is low, block is also low, which is definitely a problem when I was talking to a lot of people, as far as like I was saying, hey, maybe she has enough block, but she doesn't. So in the tail of the tape, attack speed though being 70 is decently good. I think that is decent. That means she is what I like to call second, third, or third, fourth. Like, she's not going first, but she'll go after the faster characters go, depending on your team comp and obviously depending on theirs. So she's not super slow, like Bathory, Janae kind of slow. As we all know, critical damage, block defense, and luck are exactly the same on every character. If you guys didn't know, she is 18, so you can simp and pace. All right, so she is 18, and I did not know she was from the Ron Farsley. So one other thing that I kind of wanted to do is go through her unlocked potential, because I think that that's going to be really huge for her. But let's go first into the skills. Let's look at that auto attack. We've seen it a billion times. This character is no secret to anybody. She does, since she is a rare character, she does bring the base cleanse with her. So I definitely think that unlock potential is very important, because if you want to start cleansing, I think that, you know, you would at least want to level up the passives of the rare characters if you do unlock potential of them. Now, cleanse does work with damage over time and debuff skills. So damage over time happens a little bit, might happen a little bit more frequently. Debuff skills, I think you might see a lot more frequently. So I think she will be doing a little bit more of the cleansing, and you do gain 1 mana, and then the sequential ones, cleanse 2 and 3, I'll try to show it later. You get even more mana depending on the situation of when you're stripping stuff. So I do like it. Well, actually cleansing, sorry. I do like it because you can end up with like 2-3 mana off of enemy turn, which is really, really good. Now this one is the original one, the Origin of Protection, where you give a barrier to all your allies, you give them 1 mana, and you remove status effects. So as far as being a support, she does do a really good job of like stopping a lot of stuff. She has damage over time debuff on her passive, and status effect on her skill too. So I'm really a big fan of how much she actually negates as far as like keeping your team in a healthy state. I really like that a lot. So it just looks like this.
Concentrate. The battle has just begun.
It looks so much better when it's slower, actually. I actually like it when it's slower. And then boom, there goes the barrier, which her FC version would counter, and I think that's why they took it out, which we'll get to later. And then we have the mana release, going to be a 3 mana, 350 damage, which means relatively nothing because we saw that her attack is not that high. But ooh, talk that. And the little button press, I like it. What does this button do? Like I said, I'll go over here to unlock potential. Let me just speak really quick on unlock potential, because a lot of people seem to be confused on how it works. Now the stats that you get here, like this stuff, the speed increase and things of that nature, like this attack increase, this stuff will actually carry over to FCs. Now when it comes down to these skills, however, they won't. So like if I wanted to make her barrier, this is like the maxed out barrier, if I wanted it to do that, you know, I could do that, but I like I said, the only thing I would really enhance here would be her passive. So it goes up to cleanse 3, which as you can see here, cleanses it, you get that 1 mana. You can gain 1 additional mana if the health of the target is low, and also if the character is high. So it makes it that you pretty much are going to gain at least 1 additional mana. So it's really, really cool. But also, you know, you get these combat power, free combat power, HP, gain more HP, which we'll go into in a second. So I do think that there's merit to this, especially if you want to have her survive. And this is also what a lot of people are doing for FC Xeon, because they are rares that have these really powerful skins. You can utilize both, where a lot of other FCs are already faded, so they can't get those additional stats. As far as making it equal, I don't know. I don't know if it makes it equal or enough like that. So I also said I wanted to compare her HP to other characters. So we're like 5130 and more HP than Garf. That's kind of crazy. Who else do we have? Fraggy, what about you? More HP. That Garf and Shafragan have the same HP. Interesting. Let's go with a support though. Okay, there it goes. So Ramsey has more HP, so it might be a HP, might be a support thing. Let's check out another support then. Shell, high HP. Okay, so she has more HP than tanks, but doesn't seem like she's gonna beat out some of these other support-based characters. Yep, she does not beat support-based characters in HP. Anastasia, exactly. She's only like 200-300, and these characters don't have HP scaling things, so you know that's to say something. But at least she has pretty decent HP. Let's go over to the Fate Core. Summertime. So cool. You can actually go in here and like see her in this form, and actually get her different. Like she definitely says some different things in here.
It is what it is. Let's get this done and go play.
Yeah, like it's different dialogues because she's like,
I won't let this precious time be interrupted.
Yeah, like she's talking about the vacation. They all do. All the summer skins have like this weird dialogue where they're talking about like, I'm doing this fight, but I really want to get back to my vacation. Yes, you can turn around, you can see her booty. She's not packing too much booty. I think the thighs are the best thing for her, like the best thing going for her as far as anything. But you know, she got a cute little, we call that fit booty. She has a fit booty. Any animation changes? It looks the same, just has a more, it has everything kind of has like a little watery, bubbly feel to it. Even this, the water, white origin of protection, has just a more water effect to it. And then we go over to the all. I'm just showing the skills first.
The Southland Sun.
White mana release instead of just mana release.
Give me the power to seize serenity.
Now it's instead it's a hydro pump from Pokemon. So it's just slightly different. I think they could have done a little bit more. Like when you see the expectation of, you know, Xeon in comparison to her, and again Rara, you're expecting, I was expecting a little bit more. I'm slightly disappointed. The passive. So does it scroll? It does scroll. No, oh, it's a slight scroll. I think we can survive. So flop flop. Never thought I'd be saying this, but flop flop works. It's pretty much Eye Shower. It's pretty much if she has a buff or any kind of positive effect, recovery effect, then her attacks will do modification. Modification, it's just a CC. They just turn into something so it's more visible. We'll be showing that a little bit later in the video. A Summer's Blessing is the same thing when you start off with frost damage, and once you get hit by a frost character, not a character that has frost animations or wet animations, but a frost based character, then that character will get a buff. And that buff also works with flop flop. Yes. But that's not what anyone really cares about. What we care about is the wet fog. Removes all barriers the enemy has when the enemy uses barriers once per round. When the enemy barrier is removed by the effect of wet fog, the defense of all enemies is decreased by 20% of own max HP for 9 turns. Now, obviously that's really insane. As you can see, the supports in general have very high HP. If we were to take her base HP, right, which was 5130, and do that by 20%, we would be taking off 1026 defense from our opponents. That is similar to Heart Strike. A little bit above it, and that's her base HP. That has nothing to do with you adding gear or anything like that. So of course that will get higher, and that is from removing 1 barrier per round. So it's very, very strong. I think that aspect of it, I think, is something that people are overlooking. But of course we'll look at it and see if, you know, how viable is cleaving with her on the field. If you're still running Dragon Bloods and stuff like that. Now her S2 does change. It does no longer carry a barrier. It still removes the status effects, but it gains 2 mana. This inherently is amazing because she is a light base hero. Light base heroes gain 1 mana as long as all your allies are alive. So her keeping all the allies alive and having decent enough speed, she'll relatively should get a turn unless she gets sniped out, which is the big contention of the problem of her, right? So if you can get her turn, she'll pump 2 mana, and then a lot of the characters will be able to get their next turn, like your speedier characters will have a lot more mana to play with on their next turn. It really allows for some pretty devastating plays, in my opinion. And the fact is that since it costs 1 mana and she gives herself 2, she can literally cycle this over and over and over again. Yes, she does still have this, which they did increase it to 525 because of the fact that unlock potential exists. They kind of have to make it up because you can't increase it. So they kind of had to boost the damage, but I don't think that you're going to be using this that often unless you need to get a kill or if you need to just do additional damage, depending on the situation. But most of the time, you're going to just be spamming this over and over and over again. It's just really good, and it helps your other supports, other tanks. It helps the rest of your team just do their job a lot better. She's a crazy enabler. That's pretty much her whole job. She's an enabler. Now I'm gonna put my ZEUZ to the test. Now we're gonna do gameplay testing now, but there's one important thing that I do want to test, and we'll do that in a second. So first and foremost, let's go to Alliance. And luckily enough for me, my boy is running, like, I feel like no one else is running an actual Iris on their team. So he's actually running Iris, so we can actually go against him and see how it works. Here we go. So as you saw right there, the dragon scale triggered. I had a barrier for like all of 1 second. Now my whole team is very vulnerable. So it's very quick, it happens very quickly, but next thing we're gonna have to test is what happened when we add in a summer unit. And if they have dragon blood, does it still count over? All right, so now we're gonna purposely give Iris Summer's Blessing and then attack Anna afterwards and make sure that, you know, her thing's in there and see if it triggers. See, look, I just turned into a ducky. You guys see how that works? So because and then it actually had an animation. That's actually pretty cool. So now every time I hit her. All right, now we're gonna switch it up and we're gonna try to force the interaction and then see if Iris strips the thing before I get turned into a rubber ducky. All right, I got a perfect setup. So this should happen exactly how I want. So I'm gonna give her that, and then we're going to attack Anna. Now, look, I didn't get turned into a rubber ducky. I didn't get turned into a rubber ducky. I mean, honestly, this is all you need to do, but. Wait, what happened to my rubber ducky? See, that's just so crazy. Now he's just super vulnerable. He just got a shield, he got removed, and now he's still vulnerable. And now he's dead. For transparency, I'm going to remove Iris from the team. All right. Boom. Boom, rubber ducky. Now, the last test that I need to do, and I have to spend some ZEUZ to do this, so I hope you guys appreciate this. I'm curious if starting off with the barrier from the gear set actually triggers Iris. So I'm gonna actually have to go, and we are going to put this in and make it yellow, and then my Maggie will start off with a shield. Oh, right, there we go. All right, so as you can see, we have the light barrier in effect. We should come in the fight with a barrier. The reason why I wanted to test this out is because obviously, if you were to screw your team up that bad, you would definitely be in some deep doo-doo if you were to instantaneously go into the fight and your team's debuffed. But it should technically work. So it should technically work. I'm just curious if people have to, in this meta they can't even run the light thing, which would make light characters and even light gear terrible.
Darkened power, isn't it captive?
All right, here we go. First turn, not timed. Where's my barrier? It's supposed to be a 3-turn barrier. Well, no idea why that's not working. All in all though, I think I would also just generally just do block. I think block is just the best way to go. Her dodge is not necessarily high. I do think that if you were going to go with a gear set, you might as well go with block. Dodge is either block or dodge. As long as she does not die and gives out that round of mana, and if the person still wants to run Dragon Blood, you can easily trigger it whenever you feel like it against the first Guardian team, and then you're pretty much can rain hell. That defense break, like I said, is in the thousands on base. This is mine with whatever type of gear, already with 6,083. 6,083. Yep, you're losing 12, 16 defense, and that's you know, I mean, on some of the big guys, you know, obviously that's going to be not that bad, right? But if we go to our squishier character, oh, my man Beefcake, he has more defense than my Shifraken. That's insane. He has more stuff on him, to be fair. But most of these skinny dudes, that's almost like pure damage. That's what's really crazy about that defense break. And like I said, the more investment, the crazier the defense break. She doesn't even need to necessarily survive. As long as she's there, if you have a quick enough character, like if the people that do, I do think FC Rara might still be in there because of how fast she is. Just have FC Rara trigger a first Guardian. If they run first Guardians, like your FC Rara is vulnerable to the FC Rara. The quickest character, all they need to do is trigger that once when Iris is there. Your team is vulnerable to a burst attack afterwards. They're even super vulnerable if she stays alive, the longer she stays alive, because you can go for a hit, the barriers will get removed, and then you can do another hit right afterwards. It's going to be really easy to take down certain targets with Iris on the field. So I've been recording for almost 50 minutes, but I'm going to really reduce that down by a crazy amount. But all in all, I do, as you guys can see, it really does it does crush and make it very easy to kill them. Obviously with Bathory there, it's going to make it difficult on both ends of the spectrum. I think that people can't deny, like, oh, but Bathory is going to stop the nuking, but I mean, Bathory doesn't stop nuking, counter nuking when you're nuking. It's just now you have a way to literally force a defense break on your teammates. And if you decide not to run that, if you have Bath 3 with no First Guardians, right, then they can't use that against you at all. And you can lower their defense, and that's where the issue or the intrigueness is going to come, is can the PvP, which I have to do that in a full-on PvP video, right? But can the PvP meta be changed to the part where you, like I said, maybe FC Rara can survive, but a lot of the other First Guardians are pretty slow. Now you can provoke the enemy team on purpose, defense break them, and have a way easier time killing targets off. And I don't know if they're going to be able to survive that, because Bathory can't sit behind a barrier for 2 rounds. She's gonna get hit a bunch of times. Eventually some barrier will proc, right? And then you just kill her. And then you can rinse and repeat for everyone. It does bring a lot of balance to it, but of course a lot of people aren't gonna like that one character is bringing so much balance. But a lot of the characters already had ways to get around the First Guardian. If they keep releasing, like I said, they keep releasing characters that fight against it, it's not gonna be that good, because then people, like I said, will just stop playing them. And then it's like, well, I guess you just have a really good mana generator after that. So I do think she's really good. I think at the end of the day, she's still really strong. And as long as it works in these labyrinths, which I don't know any of the labyrinths, I don't know every path of trials. If it works on those characters, which it should, unless they make the Mark immunity, which would be horrendous, but if it works on those, then she's even better. I'm really looking forward to testing her out, like I said, with Shafrakin, because honestly, I can get these characters to like low HP with Maggie, but they would just be protected by their shields, and then Fear of the Abyss will proc. I'm gonna be running Frankie, Maggie, and Iris, and then like some type of shell with the other 2 characters, and see if I can survive and pretty much nuke them to death, and then hopefully I can do that. But it's not like Maggie needs the outfit to do that. I can take her outfit off and still be able to nuke. So the real question is, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that he's enough? Do you guys have you guys fought against her and was like, eh? Do you still think the First Guardians are going to be super strong? I think it's going to be a liability having so many First Guardians. I think a lot of people aren't going to be able to run multiple of them. Maybe one I think you can run, so it's not so easy to abuse it. They have to go and attack that one. I think it's going to be FC Rara. I think maybe Anna will definitely not be. I don't think you're going to want to run Anna as much. You're going to want to have someone that's going to be quick and do, able to get some kills. Anna's just going to sit there, proc a barrier that's going to pretty much disappear, and that was her whole stick, was be able to protect herself behind a barrier. Solo First Guardians can't exist anymore. All you have to do is plop Iris, especially in tag, just have her in your team, and then that solo thing will just literally fall apart. You can't do it anymore. So that's dead. That's officially dead. And yeah, awesome. I think this is good so far, and I do enjoy it. So take that for what you will. Anywho, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and remember that every day at the casino is your lucky day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.